Today I'm going to show you how to tie a Palomar knot. What's great about a Palomar knot is it's very strong and it's also very resistant to slipping. With the braided fishing lines, you have to be very careful because occasionally they can slip in the knot, especially if you tie just a standard uni knot, and then you lose your lure out on the water. But the Palomar is extremely resistant to that, so I use it for tying hooks and jig heads on or tying off to swivels. Today we're going to be using our 30-pound braided fishing line. I have got a treble hook to tie off onto, and I've got my slip ring pliers for cutting the line. The first step we're going to do is we're going to create a loop in the fishing line. The size of this loop is going to depend on what you're tying on, because you have to pass the entire hook or lure through the loop eventually. So if you have a big lure with lots of hooks, you have to make a big loop, but if you're only tying something like this, you can put a fairly small one in. The next step is we're going to feed the line through the eye of the hook. Okay, so you can see my loop there. Now I'm going to tie a half hitch. This would technically be called a half hitch on a bite, I guess. And I'm pulling out enough of my loop that I can pass the hook through it. Okay, so you can see half hitch with the loop. Now I'm going to pass my treble hook through that loop, and that can be the tricky point if you've got something with a lot of hooks on it. It can be a real hassle. And the final step is going to be just pulling that tight. Now, if I'm out on the water, I'll usually lubricate this knot with a bit of lake water, especially because I'm in such heavy braid right now. But for today, I'll just pull it tight with my pliers. Now you want to be aware of whether or not the whole knot got to the right side of the eyelet. In this case it did. That's a nice tight knot. So now I'm just going to go in and trim off the excess. And that is our Palomar knot.